Sleep. To some of us, it comes natural. No matter where they are, no matter what kind of bad or no bad, no matter what happened throughout the day, they put their head down and boom, sound asleep. For others, like myself, it isn't that simple. I had severe problems falling asleep, and I also had severe problems staying asleep throughout the night. And at the peak, in the beginning of 2020, I had a period of 6 to 7 weeks where I haven't slept much more than 3 hours a day. Besides the immediate negative effects, like an all in all bad mood throughout the day, being stressed out, not being able to concentrate as hard as you used to, and being overly sensitive to everyone and everything, a lack of sleep, especially as a chronic illness, can lead to very problematic health issues, such as a weakening of your immune system, which makes you more vulnerable to infections, influencing your metabolism, which can lead to obesity and diabetes in the long run. And it also increases the risk of getting heart attacks and strokes. As I suffered from sleeping disorders multiple times in my life, I did a lot of research on how to cure it, and also on how to prevent it from happening again. So in this video, I want to share with you how I achieved that. The reasons behind sleeping disorder, the reason behind all of those steps. We also take a look into the reasons why people actually do have sleeping disorders. And besides all of that, I actually give you an example of a somewhat good enough working nighttime routine, which is my nighttime routine. You know this, lights off, laying down, and for the next minutes, sometimes hours, you roll around in your bed, uncomfortable, trying your best to fall asleep. Maybe you even take your phone and scroll through Instagram and TikTok for a few minutes, but it doesn't help. Something, as always, waking you up. In my case, this has always been my brain. No matter what I did, no matter what I tried, it just wouldn't shut up thinking. And here's why. Our fast-moving world seems to be designed in a way that we never ever take a pause throughout the day. Working, household, and of course television and social media, interaction with other people. It seems like we are always so busy throughout the day that our brain is constantly occupied or being fired at with users, information and content. It doesn't surprise me that this kind of behavior is actually the reason behind my sleeping disorders. If my brain can't think or process properly everything that happened throughout the day, of course it will start doing all of this in the only time throughout the day when there isn't anything around that's firing information or content towards me, right at the moment when I'm actually trying to fall asleep. After I understood all of the reasons and origins behind this, I started to look for tips, tricks and completed nighttime routines to help me tackle all of that. I learned and took the most of inspiration from no other than Dr. Mike. He has multiple videos on that topic as well. I linked one of his videos down below in the description box. I would recommend you to check that out as well and get a more professional medical view and advice on the topic in question. As I'm currently scheduled to waking up in the morning at 7:40 a.m. and knowing that I need roughly 8 hours of sleep, I go to bed at 11:30 p.m, close to midnight. I don't just stay awake doing whatever until it's time to sleep. No. At 10:50 p.m, 40 minutes before I want to go to sleep, I programmed my lights to turn off. Except for the kitchen light, this one just dims down a bit, and my television to stop playing whatever is playing at the moment. At the same time, my phone, iPad and laptop turn into do not disturb and timeout. But it's totally enough if you just use an alarm. After I've written my girlfriend a lovely goodnight message, I put my phone away for the rest of the time and start journaling on my iPad. Journaling really helps me to process the day and to already get some of the thoughts that would usually come to my mind laying in bed out of the way. Little tip, if you do journaling, at the end, write down 3 positive things that happened throughout the day. This tricks your mind into being happier, which makes you more relaxed. That all done, no screens of any kind anymore. We want to give ourselves some information income free time before we go to bed. And by not using any kind of screen, we do exactly that. Me personally, I would recommend you to not even read anything, like a book or a comic or whatever. But this comes down to personal preference. If that works for you, feel free to do that. What I do instead of reading, well, I sit down. No music, no nothing. I just think for about 15 minutes. And no, I'm not kidding at this point. I really just sit down quietly and let my mind wander wherever it wants to go, thinking and processing everything that happened throughout the day. After sitting and thinking, and yes, I actually call it that way, I do something very unhealthy, and I would advise you to never ever start with this because it's a shitload of work to getting rid of. I have a cigarette. It's roughly 20 minutes past 11 p.m. Time to, in my case at least, build up my bed, and after that, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face and moisturize. I've got around 5 minutes left. What do? I meditate, or in other words, do attentional breathing, sitting down next to my bed, eyes closed, back straight, doing intense but slow breathing. Inhale for 3 seconds, hold the breath for 2, and then exhale for 5 to 6 seconds, not focusing on anything else but doing this. It gets your heart rate down and it calms you down. Perfect condition for a good night's sleep. The time has come, 11:30 p.m. My lights turn off automatically. Even with my eyes closed, I notice the change of light and I know it is time to go to bed. My nighttime routine works pretty fine by me, and of course you don't have to do all of that exactly how I do it. We are all different and we are all individuals. So what works for me might not work for you. If you really want to read a chapter in a book, go do that before you go to bed. If you are into sounds like raindrops or waves or relaxing music, play that. And hell yes, go for ASMR if you are into that. The goal for us isn't to do everything like everybody else does it. The goal is to do what is best for ourselves. I just wanted to give you some advice, some tips, some tricks, some knowledge, and maybe even open your eyes like mine were opened, which is a completely weird analogy talking about going to bed. Do you suffer from sleeping disorder, or did you suffer from it? How you got rid of it? How does your nighttime routine actually look like? Let's just have a little conversation down below in the comments, share some tips and tricks. I would really love to see that. As I have a bit of a feeling that some of you who are currently watching this video are laying in bed suffering from sleeping disorder and searching the internet for tips and tricks to fall asleep faster and easier, I would say let's skip the fast talking ending that you usually get in one of my videos, and for this one, let me just say good night. Some of the oranges, I like oranges, especially when they're sliced up and put into a gin tonic. This helps you get asleep.